Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is typing their bank password into their computer. They think that they're alone. They think that their connection is very secure. They think that their antivirus is very protective to them. But they are wrong, because sitting silently between their keyboard and the operating system, there is a one of piece of a software that records every keystroke that user enters, every letter, every number. They will not know until it's too late. Today you are going to learn exactly how that works and how to make sure that it never going to happen to you. Okay. What's up everyone? Welcome back to AI, where we don't just talk about the cybersecurity, we break it down to the bone so you actually understand what's happening behind the scene. Today's topic is keyloggers. What are keyloggers? Every computer user has to be understand this, not just a security professional, not just an ethical hacker. Everyone. Keyloggers are the one of the oldest and most effective, most underestimated attack tools used by the cyber criminals. Alright, foundation first. What is keylogger? Keylogger short form is keystroke logger. It is surveillance technology, either software or hardware, whose entire purpose is to monitor and record every single key that you press to the keyboard. Imagine that you are writing a private letter to your bank. You sit down, pick up a pen, and start writing. Now imagine, without knowledge, someone installed a teeny hidden camera above your desk pointed to at your hand. Every account number, every password, every detail recorded in a real time, then quietly emailed to the strangers. That is exactly what Keylogger does, except it sits between your keyboard and your operating system. Now, here is what makes Keylogger unique and dangerous. Most people think that I use HTTPS, that's why I am very safe because it is encrypted, right? I am so safe. They are thinking that, but HTTPS protect you at the level of the browser level. But Keylogger sits between your browser and your keyboard. Before reaching to your browser, keystroke will capture that what you have typed. The data that is captured by the keyloggers are password, it may be a password, emails, messages, search queries, financial informations, your bank account and all things. Okay. Why it is dangerous? It is dangerous because it captures the all the keystrokes you have entered, which, and it bypasses the encryption. That's a major point here, because when you type any key in your keyboard, it will capture first, and that is going to share to the browser. Okay, before it reaching to the browser, it is going to capture that, and it is going to report to the hackers, or else it's going to save in a file. As you say here, it is stored in locally hidden files, or else it is transmitted remotely to the deployers are nothing but the who is the person who is installed that keylogger into the targeted machine or the window. Okay, let's move to the next. Two main categories of keyloggers. Okay, keyloggers comes with the two distinct types, where we are going to understand the difference is a critical, because they work differently and need different defenses. One is a software keyloggers, another is a hardware keyloggers. A software keylogger is a malicious code that is installed in on your operating system. Once installed, it runs silently. Okay, no window, no taskbar, icons, no slowdowns, nothing happens. You don't even aware of that it's the software keylogger that is installed on your system. How does it get on your computer? There are three main ways that can be installed on your machine. Okay, one is phishing emails. You get an email that looks like it from your bank or a courier company. It has an attachment. You open it. Okay, keylogger instantly, silently, that runs background. Hardware keyloggers are the physical devices which are placed between the keyboards and the computers. Usually these are the USB ports and the cable connectors. Okay, the hardware keyloggers are going to intercept, they are going to intercept the electrical signals before reaching the to the processor by catching the keystrokes which are entered by the user. Okay, these are the undetectable by the antiviruses, because these are not the softwares, right? These are the hardware devices which are connected to the your devices, your laptop. It requires a physical access to your computer in order to take the keystrokes and all. Okay, now let's see next. Okay, now let's understand how the software keylogger works. Okay, there are four techniques which are comes under the software keyloggers work. Keyloggers. Okay, one is the API hooking, form grabbing, rootkit level keyloggers. Next one, tooling method. These are the four techniques. Okay, first one is the API hooking. API hooking is nothing but the most common. This is the most common technique. Okay, because it's a legitimate, because it uses the legitimate Windows API. Okay, this tells Windows that before you deliver anything, any keyboard message to any application, send it through my function first. Okay, Windows that routes every key pressed through the every keylogger callback function. Okay, means everything that you are typing, that is going to monitor, and it's going to be passed through the this keylogger first. This runs in user space. That's the way modern endpoint detection systems can be detect this. Okay, second technique is form grabbing. Okay, it captures the data which you are entered into the website. Okay, means website forms. Okay, you know website forms, when you are filling in when you are filling bank details or a account number on a form, particular web browser. Okay, this one specially targets web browsers. Okay, it will defeat the HTTPS. Why? Because it intercepts data at the exact moment when you click the submit button of the form. Okay, when you click the submit button of the form, it will sends all the data which you have filled on that form to the hacker, or else it can save in another file. That's it. Because when you click a submit button there, that submit button is triggers some functions, and those functions already written in such a way that they will forward all the details which you have filled on that form to the attackers, or else it will save to the another file. Okay, that's a form grabbing. Okay, next one is kernel and a rootkit level. Deploy embedded software that modifies the core OS kernel. Okay, it will manipulate the keyboard drivers directly. It will manipulate directly keyboard drivers, and it is hard to detect because it sits at the root level. Root level, you know, right? Rootkits are the malware. It is a type of malware which cannot be detected easily. Means rootkit, it will sit at a rootkit level and it cannot be detected by the security softwares, and it will manipulate the keyboard drivers. Okay, next method is pulling method is it is like a continuously monitors the OS thousands of a time in a per second thousands of a time it will monitor. Why? Because if it will ensures that any key is pressed or not, user pressed any keys, it will ensure that. It's a very simpler technique, but it criticizes, means it creates a characteristic CPU usage pattern. Means because you are monitoring every second, right? Every second you are sending the inquiring the keyboard. Okay, it is any key is pressed or not. That's the way it creates characteristic CPU usage mode pattern. It will make CPU disturbance. That's it. Okay, now you understood that how they works technically. Let's talk about actual damage, what they cause. Credential theft. The most direct applications, keyloggers captures your username, password, mails, social media account. Okay, even your corporate VPNs and everything. Okay, because it bypasses the HTTPS entirely. Bypasses the HTTPS entirely, right? That's why it captures everything. That's why there is no encryption between them. Two is financial fraud. Okay, keyloggers captures banking usernames, passwords, and credit card numbers, and even expiry date also. And you the security questions that you have answered from that session. Okay, during that session, you pay a bill online. Okay, keylogger will captures that and it will send to an attacker. Okay, Attacker has complete credit card, your card information, okay, within a minute. Okay, it makes a very scary part, because when you have typed your card number, your CVE and expired date, your boom, nothing is there. Only one left, that is with right now OTP. If he bypasses that also, then he can take any money that is present in your account. Okay. Next one is corporate espionage. Okay. State-sponsored attackers install the keyloggers on executive computers. Okay. No, not for the quick money, for long-term intelligence gathering. Okay. They will install that and they will catch the trade secrets and strategic communication that is happening between the politician and all things, because state-sponsored hackers are the hackers who were who were hired by the government authorities. Okay, government authorities to steal some information. Those are the state sponsored hackers who were works for a particular government organization. Okay, next one is identity theft. Identity theft is nothing but the it is gone, right? Same like credential theft and identity theft, both are same. Credential theft is your password, your email, and that is all your credential theft. Identity theft means your identity, your name, your address, your date of birth, and that is all the your identity theft explained here, right? Like here, form grabbing. In form grabbing, they can be steal your identity. Okay. Okay, let's see the legitimate side of a key logging. Means that every technology has positive side and negative side also, and in this also key logging is nothing but the it is depends on the who is using that keylogger, right? Whether it is used by the security professional to monitor the employees, or else it is used by the hacker to monitor a employee. It makes difference, right? It's a makes a very big difference. Okay, here are the one some examples where the legitimate side of a keylogging is comes. First is a parental control. Parental control nothing but it is the controlling the child's child's phone, or else child's devices, from protecting the from the cyberbullying or the online predators. Okay, and inappropriate content. Okay, next is employee monitoring. Employee monitoring is nothing but the companies deploys. All companies are going to do this. Companies deploy monitoring software on their corporate devices, prevent the data leaks, compliances, ensure that compliances. But employees are already signed in their policies. That's the way they have the authority and they have the permission to deploy the software on their systems to monitor them. Okay, they do because have you ever heard about insider threat? Insider threat is nothing but the person who is working in a particular company or organization, but they are also tied up with other hackers or any miscellaneous persons, and they are sending their keystrokes to them, right? That's the way every employee laptop should contain this keyloggers. Okay. And the next one is law enforcement. Law enforcement, here legitimate court will approve that you have to install. I mean, police have to install that keyloggers inside the suspect device, and have to catch their communication with others and all, to track their communication. Here we use the keylogging as the legitimate, means with law enforcement. Without law enforcement, it is a very big criminal activity, that is also right. That's why here court itself will allow to track the suspect communications from his devices and all. How can we protect from keystrokes? Key, nothing but the keyloggers. Okay, and while installing the endpoint security inside your device, because endpoint detections are just software, they will they will detect the software based keyloggers. Okay, they will detect the software based keyloggers, such as unauthorized API host hooking. I said right. It will track every means every key that you pressed on the computer. means on your keyboard, sorry, on your keyboard, that is going to be all the detected, because endpoint security will detect the behavioral patterns of a keylogger. It will detect and it will block all, it will automatically, it will block. This is going to block the keylogger. Okay, next is a two-factor authentication. Here comes a very very big part of the defense of the protecting against the keyloggers, because when you have entered, I will give you one example, you will understand here. uh, you are entering a form, means one form where you are entering all the your bank details and all things, and finally you are going to get the OTP, right? That OTP has to come to your device, right? First here, that the attacker or the one who is installed that keyloggers inside your computer or your device, he will know everything details, means every details of your name, your date of birth, your username, your password also. But in two-factor authentication, the OTPs and all things which are coming from the bank, that doesn't going to directly go to the attackers, because attacker cannot access your account. Why? Without secondary device, he cannot access your account. Even if a keylogger captures password, two-factor authentication renders it useless. Because two-factor authentication is you are going to authenticate. You are going to authenticate yourself that you are the one who is legitimate user of that account, right? That's why OTP is going to come to your mail or your mobile phone number and all. Here comes, this is a very biggest defense of a keyloggers, right? That's why you have to on the two-factor authentication for the Gmails and for your Instagram. You have to on that all protective settings and all. Here one more biggest protecting, also it is also one of the biggest protecting against the keystrokes. That's the password managers. Password managers are nothing but the your browser is going to store your your credentials. If you have ever visited some websites continuously, means repeatedly, okay, then it shows that autofill autofill settings. If you click autofill, then the attacker is not going to capture that. Means that keylogger is not going to capture that and send it, will not send to the attacker, because there is no typing occurs, nothing moves on your from your computer to the attacker. This is also one of the biggest of defense against the keystrokes. Next one is the physical inspection. Physical inspection is the manually you are going to examine that computer hardware for unauthorized devices, like you are charging your laptop. Before that, there is a dongle which is there in between your charger and the port, right? That's the way you have to manually check for it, and you have to ensure that there is no any dongles or any any chips, any memory cards also not be there, because it is it's a hardware device, right? It is most difficult to detect the antivirus softwares. That's what you have to aware of that all things. Okay, we are at the conclusion right now. Let's bring it all together. What you have learned today. The keylogger records every keystrokes. We have learned about that, and it also bypasses the encryption. There are two types of keyloggers. One is hardware and another one is software. There are four techniques also comes under this: API hooking, form grabbing, kernel level keystrokes, and pooling. Okay, and you have also learned about how they will damage in real world, like by stealing the credential theft and also identity theft of yours, and also financial frauds also happens from that. Then we have seen the legitimate uses of the keyloggers. One is example of the you'll take corporate monitoring of the employee. Okay, in law enforcement, and we have also seen the parents who is installed the keyloggers into their child's mobile. Okay, these are the, and also we have seen the defenses against the these keyloggers. One is endpoint detection systems. We have seen the two-factor authentication, how that will help to authenticate the users and all. And next one is the password managers. And all finally, physical inspection. Like you have to inspect. before using the others computers. We have to inspect that hardware is safe for you or not. These all are we have already discussed about in this session. Okay, thank you for seeing the video at till end. I hope this gave you real understanding, not just a definition, but exactly how these attack works at a technical level, what to do them, how to protect against them. If this helped you, then hit a like button and do subscribe to AI Red Team. Okay, we are going to deep down into the network scanning, penetration testing, and social engineering, and a lot of things coming more in future. Drop a comment. What did you understood today by the keyloggers? Before seeing this video, did you know anything about keyloggers and all? Until next time, stay sharp, stay secure. This is AI Red Team. Bye. We will see you in next video.